So in this video, we're going to be setting up iMobiTrax. It's my personal favorite tracker, especially for mobile campaigns because it's self-hosted. You're able to scale up your own server. You don't have to worry about, the actual tracker company doing maintenance and shutting everything down, which has happened a few times with me with other trackers. It's all on your server, so you control when you update it. You control everything, which is good. Now, if you use coupon code PPC mode, it will save you some money on your monthly fee, which is good because everyone wants to save money. We can use that for our testing budgets instead. So once you're at iMobiTrax.com, go ahead and click sign up here in the top right. And currently iMobiTrax is $179, but with the coupon code, like I said, you'll save some money. And we're also going to be saving money because we are not going to need the professional install, because that is what this video is doing. It's showing you exactly how to install it yourself. So once you've just go ahead and fill all this stuff out, and once you've successfully purchased an account, we'll hop right into how to install it. So once you've successfully purchased iMobiTrax, you should get an email that allows you to log into your membership dashboard. And once you're in your membership dashboard, there's a few things you're going to want to do. The first thing you're going to want to do is under active resources here, you're going to want to find iMobiTrax 3.9 install.zip and make sure that it's the install, not the update. So download the install.zip. So just click on it and then it'll download. And the next thing you want to do is go to edit profile. And under domain name here, make sure that it's either the IP address of your server or the domain name that you're going to use with your iMobiTrax install. Once you've successfully done that, click save. So once the file is finished downloading, you're going to want to unzip it, and there's going to be a few files and folders in here. One of them is the actual install guide, so if you get lost in this video or whatever, you can go ahead and open that to see if that helps you. However, I'm going to be doing it step by step with this video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have it unzipped, you have your FTP opened, which for Mac, I'm using a program called Transmit. If you don't have an FTP client, go ahead and Google that, depending on if you're a Windows or Mac computer. For Windows, I think you can use FileZilla or CyberDuck, and for Mac, you can use Transmit or FileZilla as well. Either way, just make sure you get an FTP client so you can follow along. Also, make sure that you still are logged into your cPanel from the previous video. If you're not, make sure that you are actually logged in to cPanel before continuing. So what you're going to also need is the server IP address or the domain name that you're going to be using for iMobiTrax. And what we'll do is I'm using an IP address for the server, so I'll go ahead and paste that in there. And you'll also want the username and password that you set up in the last video when you set up your account. So the username I'm going to put in is just like I said, the login credentials. And then we will save it. We'll actually save it as iMobiTrax. Okay, so now when we click it, we're going to be logging into our FTP. Now, once you're logged into your FTP, you're going to see a few files here, and a few folders as well. What you're going to want to do is go into your public-html folder. Now, open up your iMobiTrax 3.9 install that you just downloaded and should have it unzipped. And under the uploads folder, what we're going to do is we're going to copy everything over and move it into the public.html. So we'll go ahead and let this upload, and then I'll turn the video back on. So now all your files should be successfully uploaded to your server. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back into our cPanel account, and we will use it to create a MySQL database. So once we're in cPanel, what we want to do is scroll down and find the MySQL database wizard, and we'll click it. And the first step is we are going to create a database for our iMobiTrax data. So what we'll do is we'll just call it iMobi here, and we'll click next step. Now what we're creating is a user for the database. So I'll just, for simplicity here, name it the same thing. And then for the password, you're going to want to generate a very secure password. This is not something you're personally going to have to log into. What we're doing is we're setting it up so the server can log into the database, or iMobiTrax can log into the database and add the data that it needs. So I suggest using the password generator, and make sure that you've copied this to a safe place. So now we've created the user and we have the password. So we'll go ahead and click Create User. And the final step here is we are giving this user privileges to the database that we just created. So what we're going to want to do is click All Privileges, scroll down and click Next Step. So now we've successfully created a database with a database user. So what we're going to want to do is go back to our FTP, click on Account, click on MT, and we'll want to find mt-config, and we'll want to open that in our code editor. Once again, I'm using Sublime Text for this. So where it says password, we'll go ahead and paste the password that we just set up, and we will copy the user and the database. In this case, they're both the same. So make sure to also add the entire thing, not just InMobi or whatever you named your user. There's also a subtable or a prefix that you need to add. So in this case, both of them are the exact same. So we will paste in the user and we will paste in the database. Now make sure that you successfully got them in parentheses and there's no white spaces. There's no spaces like this or anything like that. And everything else should be just fine. So what we'll do is we'll click Save. So I just clicked Command S to go ahead and save it. So now what we'll want to do is go to our browser, open up a new tab here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to our IP address /account/install.php and click Enter. And if we've successfully set up our database and everything, iMobiTrax should now be able to install. So what it's asking for now is creating an iMobiTrax user. Now this is data that you'll want to remember because you're going to be logging into this quite frequently. So the first thing it asks you for is your email. So we'll go ahead and put in my email address. I'll put in a username and we'll put in just password for now, and we'll verify it. Now obviously you're going to want to make a secure password and a username that fits you plus your email. Under time zone, I'm in the Los Angeles time zone, so I'll go ahead and change that. And then once we've successfully, make this a bit bigger for you, once we've successfully entered in all of our details, we'll click Install. And what this is doing is it's uploading the database files that it needs to the database that we just created. So we successfully created the account, and it's telling us the final steps are to delete some files. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the FTP, and the first file is under account/mt. We'll want to find mt/database or db install.php, and we're going to go ahead and delete that from the server. Then we'll want to go back to the account folder and find install.php and go ahead and delete that. So now we'll go back to our browser, and if we successfully set everything up, what we should be able to do is go to the IP address of our server, or once again the domain, whatever you decide to use, and go to /account and click Enter. So I wanted to show this error page because I know some of you are going to get it. So it says this domain, which is an IP address, is not licensed to run on iMobiTrax. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy what it says right here, no matter if it's a domain or an IP. We're going to copy it, We're going to go back to our customer profile so we can edit our information in iMoviTrax. So under domain name here, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put the IP address that I just set up. In your case, it'll be your IP address or your domain. We'll click Save Profile. And now when we go back to this and click Reload, it should be properly licensed. So as you can see, now it's showing our login. So what we'll do is we'll type in our user and our password and click Login. And now we are successfully in iMoviTrax, which is fully installed and a blank install. So now in the next videos, I'll go through how to actually tie this to your affiliate network, how to actually set up landing pages and all that stuff and get this stuff running.